Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's interview. Today we have Kat. She is a multi-talented LA-based British actress, speaker, and award-winning international variety burlesque performer, Vixen DeVille. Kat is incredible teacher. She has a TV show currently in the making, and she is just a beautiful all-round creatress in the rising, in the making, and she has got some really beautiful things to share with us today. Welcome, Kat.
Hi, I've never heard a word when you first emailed me that so summed up everything that I do, and just hearing it out loud again, creatress. I'm like, yeah, that's what I am. Like, because everyone has to label themselves. Are you a writer? Are you a performer? Are you a whatever you are? And I think, I do all my costume and I create theater and I write this and creatress, I think is, yeah. My friend said, you're a doer, you produce things, but creatress just gets it down there. So yes, thank you for creating this and having labeled it so well.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, I love that. I feel the same, I'm always creating something. And when I surrender to that flow of the creatress, then it's a beautiful creation, I just love it. Absolutely love it. And it's been a word that's been with me for quite a while, like 10 years now. And so Creatress Rising is finally coming to you, which feels great. So Kat, tell me a little bit about burlesque first, and then we'll talk about how you got into it.
Absolutely. So burlesque is a performance art form. And the way I kind of describe it, this is my definition, not really anybody else's, but they are 3 to 5 minute performance acts that are self-created and self-contained by the performer, which is super, super important because say you're a singer, you could always be singing someone else's lyrics. Or if you are a songwriter, someone else might be singing it. But when you perform a burlesque act, it's not that someone else has given you the costume and the props and the idea and the concept. You are creating this 3 to 5 minute performance art piece, and you decide, what am I saying? What is the vibe? What is the style? What am I wearing? What is the music? What am I presenting to the audience? And then you go on stage and you let that live in front of the audience. There is an element of strip. A lot of people are like, oh, is it stripping? Is it stripping? There is an element of strip. But for me, that element of strip isn't necessarily flesh. It can be an emotional strip. It can be a physical strip. It can be a strip of an idea. So if I come on stage hunched over with a cloak over my head and I hobble onto the stage, if I flip that cloak off and I'm like, oh, I'm beautiful and I'm Cinderella, that's a reveal. And I'm no more naked than I was, but it's a reveal of the idea of old haggard old woman to beautiful Cinderella princess. So it involves a strip, and it usually has a satirical comment on pop culture or on current affairs. So you're sort of having a voice while you create this act. It's not just here I am pretty, it's here I am having something to say as well. So that's in a nutshell what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So how did you get started with burlesque? Like, what was your introduction to it?
Yeah. So I had been an actor since about the age of 10. I'd been training in it and taking classes in it. And I then did a degree in solo performance. So it was creation of theater, solo performance, just you on stage holding attention, what you bring naturally to the stage, what you don't have to try to like express, So some people have an element of cutesiness, some people have an element of power, some people have an element of domineering, some people have a trustworthy element. So you learn as an actor, this is what I naturally have going on. So when I have this script given to me, if I'm a salesman and I have trustworthy, I can lean into my trustworthiness as the way that I sell as the salesman, as character. If I have a natural element of powerful, then my version of the salesman is going to be super powerful, rah, 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 ram it down people's throats. So it's a way of really becoming an authentic actor, learning more about yourself so you can bring that to the role. So I had trained in, a lot of people think, oh, I'm an actor, I'm pretending to be someone else, but it's a whole lot of who are you and bring yourself to the role. So I had trained as an actor. I loved theater creation. I loved the magic of theater, it live happening in front of you. And as part of solo performance, I created this act where I said to my teacher, I said, I want to be in control of the audience, because I feel like when you're doing a play or even a monologue, there's still that fourth wall and you're not interacting with the audience. So they have an element of power. They can snicker or make comments or throw popcorn at you. And as character, you can't acknowledge that because you're in this scene. So I said, I want something where I'm interacting with the audience. So we did this piece. And to cut a long story short, I came out of university having this piece and creating this character, not knowing where it fit. I knew it was sort of vaudeville. It wasn't quite stand-up comedy. It was something. And then I saw a breakdown for something called Burlesque, and I was terrified. I was drawn to it, but terrified. It was, oh my God, I get to dress up in sexy costumes, but I have to dance and sing, which I'm not great at, and stripping. Oh, I hate my body. Like at the time, I just didn't like who I was. And I ran away from it. But my friend ended up being in the show, invited me to the show. I saw this show. It was an array of different sizes, cultures, styles, characters, dance abilities, song abilities. It was just each human in their 3 to 5 minute piece was celebrating themselves, having the most fun. And I was like, I want that in my life. So I went up to them at the end of the show and I was like, I need to be in your show, blah, 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 blah. And I had this piece from university that I didn't know what it was. So I came and brought that piece, and it was kind of like a call and response storytelling thing. And so I came in almost like as the host character. And that's how I got into that burlesque troupe. And being in that troupe meant I saw everyone's styles. I was in group numbers, and I did all of my learning being part of that troupe and just seeing what this actual world was. Because before that, I had no idea.
Fantastic. You said that like before you started burlesque, you didn't like your body. Tell me, how's burlesque helped you to, I guess, fall in love with it and really own it and accept it?
Yeah, it really was sort of chipping away at it. In that when I joined the troupe, I thought my boobs aren't big enough, my ass is too large, I'm not a perfect size, whatever. And in the troupe, I think that we got to a point when there was 5 of us and each of us was a different dress size. And we were like, we're amazing. We're presenting the spectrum of women. And there was a girl in the troupe who, like, there was one who was a lot skinnier than me. There was one who was a lot larger than me. There was a lot of different styles. But watching them rocking it on stage was like, why am I so worried about I'm the only person who's got these hang-ups. And if I can go out on stage and go, I don't have a hang-up about the whatever supposed flaw I've got, then the person in the audience who looks similarly to me or has a similar quality can go, well, she's not apologizing for it, so neither do I. And it was literally just like, I started off wearing boy shorts because I thought my ass was too big, and I'd get like slightly shorter and cheekier. And then I kind of wear like little panties. And then I think in my like 6th year of performing, I was like, I'm going to wear a thong. And now it's like, don't care. My ass is my ass and I love it. And it's just, it's the train. I talk about this with my students about it's the retraining your brain that who you are is perfectly okay. And so I would take a risk and wear the boy shorts and people would applaud and cheer. And I'd take a risk and wear the smaller panties and people would applaud and cheer. And I'd wear the thong and people would applaud and cheer. And there was never any, oh my God, your ass is big. Oh my God, your ass is cellulite. Oh my God, your ass has got stretch marks on it. Because people just don't care. When you go out there and rock it, people are like, you're so confident. You're so how, and it's just practice. It is literally just practice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm the mom in a thong on the beach, and I got there just by practicing. You know, at first I was uncomfortable, but it was a method to falling in love with my body. So I love that. Yeah.
And it's also knowing the mindset behind it, because I teach in burlesque that it's not about, like, people say, what is stripping in burlesque? For me, stripping is you doing it for the customer, and you're asking them questions. Is this good enough for you? If I do this, do you like it? Is this good? Do you want more of this? Question, question, question. In burlesque, you're saying, look at my beautiful hair. Look at my amazing face. Look at my fabulous body. Just check out all of this. Look at it. And if you don't appreciate it, bye-bye, because this other person over here will, and we're just not jamming. And it's that mentality of, I'm not going out on stage and stripping off to please the audience. The pleasure the audience get is from seeing me happy in doing it. And me going, here's my boobs, and they're the tiniest things you've ever saw, but oh my God, they're amazing, and I've got no back problems, and yay for me. And me celebrating myself, right, is what they're enjoying. And that me celebrating myself and each performer celebrating themselves brings joy to the audience and allows them to celebrate themselves. And that's what I love about burlesque, is it is just a whole big celebration of every single person in the show and every person who's there making up the audience.
Yeah, I love that. You're not emptying yourself for others.
Yeah.
You are so full that you're just flowing and expanding your greatness, your
100%. I tell people to fire themselves up. When you're creating your act, you're pleasing you. You're choosing your music. You're saying, I want to wear this. I want to be this character. Whether you want to be an elephant or a mermaid or a snow queen, you be who you want to be. You fire yourself up with this, like, this is so much fun. And that fired up self is what you unleash on the stage. And the audience is just like, woof, this fired up person. You're not going, here, take me. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Fill yourself up. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what type of movement do you do? Like for you personally in your day-to-day kind of fitness or just, creating joy, what kind of movement do you feel like helps your creatress to rise?
Yeah. Fitness wise, I do a lot of yoga, hot yoga. I love hot yoga. It really helps me through any injuries and helps me to just kind of go, this is where my body's at. And I might not be able to drop into splits, or I might have had an injury, but I'm working at it. And I love hot yoga when you have those 26 and 2 poses and stretches, because you can sort of gauge where your body's at and like go, oh, I've improved a little bit. Or, oh, maybe I've got an injury there. And because of the heat, you can really sort of just let your body go over to the person who's giving you the instructions and just really submit a little bit. I have so much control in my life. I just need to submit sometimes. So hot yoga, I love it. And then aerial, Lyra, I got into trapeze and aerial about, 2008 or 9. I was like mid-20s. And for me, I was not athletic growing up. And so it was such a, what am I even thinking in my late 20s learning this crazy skill where I'm using my own body weight to lift myself up into the air. But I love the challenge of it. I've never liked sort of weightlifting or swimming laps, running laps, because it's just boring. And you're doing it for I'm trying to build up my body or trying to lose weight or whatever. But aerial is so much like, I'm trying to create this move. I'm trying to like hold this position. And you get that sort of, oh, if I can just hold it 2 more seconds, or I want to get into this position. And it's so the challenge of it, and then the camaraderie of like applauding other people when they finally get a move. I love that too. But something you said about unleashing, you said what doing it for your creativity. I love just throwing a piece of music on and just going nuts in my studio. And if I have no ballet training, I pretend to do ballet moves. I can't do hip hop, I'll do hip hop moves. Like I'll just throw on anything and just let my brain go, because the body knows how to move. We've just told it that we can't. We've shunted it down. So throwing on any old music and knowing no one's watching and just going for it. And I think that's the best sort of thing to help creativity for sure.
Yeah, amazing. And so tell me a little bit about what you're going to share with us inside of the Creatress Rising app. What is this? You have this signature 90-minute workshop that you're going to take me through. I'm really excited about it.
We'll be a different person at the other end of it.
And we're going to put it up on the Creatress Rising app. So tell me a little bit about it, because I want to know more before we do it, but I want everybody else to know more.
Yeah. So I remember being the person who saw the burlesque show and thought, I want that in my life, but I can't, because give me a million reasons why. Too non-athletic. I can't sing. I can't dance. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not tall enough. I'm not blah, blah, blah. And this introduction is fusing together what I've learned from solo performance, from comedy, from physical theater creation, and from actor character creation. Because for me, burlesque is not about the dance moves that you can do. It's about you unapologetically being charismatic on stage, unleashing the true authentic self, and celebrating that with the audience. So this session is for people who go, I can't dance, I can't sing, I can't be a burlesque performer. And it's going, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. So we're going to start looking at just how confident you are, inviting people to look at you. We're going to start looking at characters that maybe you've shunned away because society has told you that that's not appropriate. We latch on to certain labels. We get given certain labels. We play up to those labels. If you're the oldest kid of 3 and you're said, be a good example to your brother and sister, then you become always like, I must be perfect the whole time. So we're gonna pull away a lot of that. And then we're going to, as we latch onto these different characters, we're going to find positions and movement that your body likes doing, that you feel super comfortable doing. And we're going to put that into an actual routine. And then we're going to unleash your fabulous self and celebrate you at the end. Dun, dun, dun.
I am mildly excited and scared all at once. So
I love it.
I'm really excited. But tell me, it's like, why is that like, unraveling and unlayering your the pieces of yourself? How does that support you in your everyday life and business? Like, what are some of the benefits of doing that?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people walk around as a version of themselves that they think people are expecting, or that they've been told they have to be. And if I'm a business person and I'm going into a business meeting, then I have to wear a suit and I have to get it all together. I remember being in my early 20s, I had a couple of companies, and I felt like, I'm 21, I need to present this, I need to be taken seriously. And I would never tell jokes. I would never be dorky or silly or cutesy because I wanted to be taken seriously. So I put on this facade of, I'm a business person, I know what I'm doing, which meant people were like, there's something off about this person. She's not quite authentic. They didn't then want to do business with me. And then I would be very like, I would get even more barriers up. But when we start really rediscovering, I'll say so remembering, but rediscovering who we really are, and bringing that into our first dates and our business meetings and our job interviews, then we instantly make a connection with that other person. So if I'm going to a job interview and I've got a kid and I'm like, oh, I can't mention the fact I just had a kid because they're not going to hire me because they don't like women who have kids and they think whatever. Well, then if I go in, oh no, I don't have children at all, and they hire me, I'm going to have the most miserable experience with people who wanted to hire people who were single, with people who aren't providing help for a single mother or whatever I am. Whereas if I go in a job interview and go, yeah, I just had a kid, and they go, well, that's not really suitable for us. Great. On to the next one. I can now find my perfect match. Next job interview. Yeah, I've got a kid. Fabulous. We have a creche. We have daycare. We love you. Bring your kid into work with you. Absolutely. I just had a kid myself. Oh my God, let's have dinner this weekend. And then you start making your authentic connections with people, and you just have a much happier life. Being who you are is so much easier and happier than being this false version that you think everyone's expecting.
Yeah, amazing. And so my last question for you is, how does movement help you to change your life, or change your state, or change your emotions, or how do you use movement for all those different types of feelings that we all have, experiences that we all have, but how do you use movement to kind of get you out of that movement?
I mean, a number of ways. Just the fact that when you smile you feel happier, it's just that one thing. When you start getting up and moving out, you're taking yourself out of a state. And if you're in a state of depression or like a low place, which I've definitely 100% been in, if you're stuck in your mind and you start spiraling into these bad thoughts of, oh my God, my life is terrible because, once you pull yourself literally out of that state and start moving, your body has to feel a certain way. You start releasing your endorphins, you start being this kind of other version of yourself, and moving and getting your heart rate going, and just, it takes you out of this spiral and into this whole other space of like, oh, now I'm laughing and having fun and doing all the things. And when people are in my class and they have got a lot of stuff out on the outside world, even when I have stuff in the outside world, and I leave that at the door and I come into the class and I'm so focused on what I'm saying to the other people and how I'm leading them through this class, I don't have time to focus on anything else. And so I'm moving and I'm taking up my space, and I'm, just literally having this open arm movement and being like, welcome the universe into my world, rather than hunched over. And you learn in acting that there is some acting technique that is memory. I remember a sad time, I therefore feel sad, I therefore cry. But I did a lot of actors training that was outside in. I hunch my shoulders, I make myself small, I look down, I feel sad, I'm going to cry. Like I literally start feeling like I'm going to cry right now because I've just instantly, but open. And then another way, when we work on your burlesque act, it is sort of, what do you want to experience that you don't get to experience in the world? And when I say fire yourself up, I say that rather than bringing yourself joy in the act, because it's not that every single act is fun, but firing you up with something that you enjoy. So there was a time when I couldn't really be ugly and angry in my life. I was always being, hi, welcome, I'm super pretty and I'm going to my auditions and oh my God, I'm so well adjusted and approachable because, hey, I'm teaching a class. And I was just like, I want to just release some anger right now. And so I created a Halloween act where the strip is from human into a werewolf. And I have this real like feral movement and snarly, growly. And I do this heart punch illusion and I end up eating this heart on stage and throwing it on the dead body. And it's just like mic drop at the end. And my God, does that fire me up? Being able to be this angry, feral, snarling creature on the stage, I come off like, that was like venting my anger, you know? And we have a lot of pent up anger and sadness and all these emotions that we try to go, I don't want to feel that right now, so I'm going to bottle it down. But once you allow yourself to laugh and be happy, to cry and be sad, to scream and be angry, it gets it out of our body and we can go on to the next emotion. And it's, we're not going to keep it building up inside us.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me of the end of the movie Moana.
Oh, I haven't seen it. No.
Oh my goodness, you have to see it. Even if you just watch the last 5 minutes, it's like the goddess, the island goddess. She is this snarly, angry, fire kind of breathing monster, and Moana looks at her and realizes that somebody has stolen her heart, the heart of Te-Fiti. And so she shines the heart over to this angry, snarling monster that's been, tearing their boats apart and destroying islands. And, and then the goddess comes powering through the water and she replaces the heart of Te-Fiti. And it's just beautiful. It's the most beautiful kind of, what is the feminine?
Yeah.
It is all of this. It is the goddess that lays on the island and creates beautiful palm trees and bananas and all the goodness and, all of that fruit and nurturing love. But she is also this snarling monster that will, tear you apart.
Yeah. And we're so denied. Sorry. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For any woman, it's like we need to experience that snarly, angry, feral monster, but but also this other nurturing, loving, intensely passionate being, or whatever it is for each of us. So
which is, I have so many different styles of burlesque now. I have the one where I'm expensive and untouchable. I have one where I'm silly and goofing off. I have the snarly werewolf one, because we do want to experience all these things, and we're told so many times that you can't be women shouldn't cry and show their weakness, or, you shouldn't be too strong, or you shouldn't this, you shouldn't that, blah, 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 all of them. And I had a student very, very early on who was doing this goddess thing. And she's like, I just don't feel like, God, she was beautiful to my standards, because everyone's got their own standard, to my standards, she was beautiful. And she had this like feather boa, and she's like, I can't see myself as a goddess because all I can hear is the berating from ex-boyfriends and being bullied at school and being told I'm not good enough. And I cannot see myself as a goddess. I was like, well, we're pulling away from that. What is your burlesque name? What is your goddess's name? So let's first of all name her so we can be her for a second. And I said, that feather boa you have, I want you to lift that up in the air as if you're casting a spell as the goddess on all those people that said all those mean things and all, like take revenge, like throw it in their faces. And she's like, am I allowed to do that? I'm like, yeah, it's your burlesque act. And she's like, I've gone through so many years of therapy where they're like, forgive and forget, like get over it, rise above it, it's all good. And she's like, I don't think I've been given the permission to be angry at them. I'm like, bring it out now then. And she like raised this boa, and this music was playing, and in her head she's casting the spell, and she like throws it on the floor, and she's like, Whew, that was better than like 10 years of therapy, because I was allowed to be angry. I was in a safe space. There's no consequence, you know? So giving yourself permission to be silly and goof off, to fail a little bit, to make a big old mess enough to clear it up, to be expensive and untouchable, to be mean to people. Give yourself permission to be all those things, so it's not festering away at you.
Yeah. Well, shall we?
Shall we?